The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Will Olu Fashanu hit the ground running for the New York Jets? Will Olu Fashanu have his skill set translate to the NFL? We're going to break down that and much more with our film expert, Andrew Fialkow. A lot to get into, Jet fans. So let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season. We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. Welcome in, everybody. Show number 2 on the day. If you missed it earlier, we broke down the report from ESPN's Rich Cimini that the Jets will have a brand new medical staff ahead of the 2024 season. Check that out if you missed it. We also had a wild show with callers featuring Gary, Bobby, Alan. It got intense, and I'll leave it at that. Before we dive in to the film with Andrew Fialkow and talk all things Jets and Olu Fashanu, I want to remind everybody that less than 24 hours from right now, we will have the heavyweight shoe sell-off, baby. The shoe fight, unlike any other. Bonesy versus Neal, the heavyweight shoe salesman championship. It's on the line at Alden Shoe Store in New York City tomorrow at 4 p.m. If you want live updates on the battle, behind-the-scenes content on the battle, sign up for my Patreon and get in the Discord when you join Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Great way to support me. And of course, if you sign up for the year, you save 15%. You get your name in the intro, the show on podcast form, find out about listener events before the general public, discounts in the soon to be launched merch store, and a whole lot more. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. All right. Joining us right now to break down some film and talk all things Jets is Jets X Factor's own Andrew Fialkow. What's up, Andrew?
What's going on, Jake? I actually I saw, like, when I can't catch your full shows, I usually skip through it.
You're frozen, Andrew. I hear you, but there we go.
I was gonna say I didn't know if I lost you again. I skip through it. I find Bobby and I find Gary. So Bobby's been so good. I like the Bobby versus Allen too. And then Gary, I don't know. I feel like Gary might need to take like a week hiatus from the show. Just watch all his film, get all his thoughts together. Also, like, I just commend Gary that he comes on the show every week. I don't know how. I feel like you guys end up at the same argument you always have, but like somehow he's on the show every day. Is he on, like, he usually calls in twice a day, right?
He sometimes does. He's definitely on at least once a day. He's got something. Now, I will say, did you catch yesterday's call where he like turned me into this?
Oh yeah, I did. I thought when I was on last week, and that was a really good one that we're doing them. I thought that was bad, but then it got worse.
You were on last week when I went off on him. I mean, it's like become like a once every couple day thing. So you might be onto something. Maybe Gary's got to take a chill pill for a little bit.
But hey, I like when he calls in. I don't know if he's in right now, but I'm sure he's waiting around.
I love it. All right. We got a lot to get into, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge how awesome this Asmaniac listener is. Addison gifted 5 channel memberships before the show even started. You want to talk about a commitment to this channel, a commitment to the fan base that tunes in each and every day. That's what Addison M did for the people.
Money, 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 money.
If you hear your name called, you are officially an Asmaniac. Jaden, Sonny Crockett, Stephen Craig, Lawrence Rubin, Freddie McKnight, congratulations. You have been gifted a membership by Addison. Let's get some more memberships gifted during the show. Let's pay it forward. It's just $5 to gift one single membership if you want to pay it forward. And if you want to gift more like Addison, more the merrier. Appreciate everyone for their support. All right, Andrew, before we kind of dive into some Olu film here, what to you were some of the things you were hoping to see before you started the film study? And after watching a lot of them, how should Jet fans be feeling about their first round draft choice?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, watching O-line film has never been something I've been like love to do, but I've done it. And I don't know. I kind of think him sitting, like when I finished watching it, I was like, I think he could actually gain a lot from sitting. A lot of these tackles that get drafted high, that like get thrown into playing, and you'll see them like with bad PFF grades or lots of pressures given up, and it's probably just because of like the O-line needing like the mesh better, the chemistry needed, but also like some of these kids come in raw, and I think Olu has a bit of rawness to his game, especially in the run game. I think he could learn a ton, and I think he will learn a ton from Tyron Smith. Like, I'm really happy that he's coming in and not being forced to play right away. I think a lot of people thought that he was like a set it and forget it, like at left tackle, and that very well could be like he could just like need to play for a year and then be that guy or get acclimated after like 6 games. But I see some blemishes in his game that definitely need to be worked on, that I think won't have to be put under the spotlight right away. But he also has a lot of great attributes and great traits that are the reason why we took him at 11. So I think it's a perfect situation, actually.
So you look at where he's obviously going to be slotted in. I mean, they made it very clear. They view him as a left tackle. They emphasize that a lot, both in the press conferences and the subsequent interviews that both Saleh and Douglas have done. When you watched him, do you see only a left tackle? Do you see a guy who maybe could translate to being a right tackle as well? Because I think when they picked him, and you found out draft night that he had been training at right tackle as well, I think they view him going into this year as the swing tackle for both Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses if there's an injury.
Right. My only answer to that would be it just like depends on the footwork. Like, it's just it's like a different sport. I don't remember if AVT was the one who said it like mid-season last year. I think he said something along the lines of like moving from left tackle to right tackle, like it was just a completely different sport for me, and like completely different footwork, completely different technique. I really think it's just uncomfortability. Like, moving him to guard is very different because guards have like a different skill set and like usually a different build than a tackle. But left tackle or right tackle, it's just how comfortable he would be with the footwork. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be able to do it, especially like you said, since he's been training at both positions.
Okay, so with that being said, let's kind of go through some of the film here. And I also thought it would be important to maybe look at some Tyron Smith film as well, because if you remember, Olu said that he wanted to be a Jet. That was the team he wanted to be drafted by. And he said that he has grown up studying the film on Tyron Smith, who now gets a chance to basically teach him the ins and outs of the position. So I wonder, as we go through the film here, if there's any similarities between Olu Fashanu and Tyron Smith. So, Andrew, whenever you're ready, share your screen. We'll go full screen, and we'll break down some of the Olu film and look at some Tyron film as well.
Yeah.
And if you're tuned in live right now and you have a comment or a question for Andrew to respond to, we'll stop the film review for any super chat that comes in. So make sure you fire those off as well, and we'll take some calls on the other side as well. So here we go. Andrew has shared his screen. I'm going to pull it up on my end right here, and we can take a look all together. So, Andrew, you are ready to roll.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I was just trying to get like I always do for us, like a good variety of plays. I went through like most of his 2023 film. I haven't got to 2022. I kind of shy away from that anyway, because in my opinion, I think that they were more looking at him as a prospect from the past year. Obviously, that's a bit more important in my eyes. And a big knock on Olu is his run game, his run blocking. So this is just a read option here. Here he is. He's 74, so we'll follow him on tape the entire time. I always feel like Olu's just like a bit high with his pad level. That was one knock I had on him when I did a whole article on Jets X Factor, breaking down like in more depth like his tape. He's just a little high. Like, he's a very tall player, obviously, and he's huge at his size. I just think his pad level needs to be lower all the time when he in the run game. But here he still shows some nasty and like just gets a pancake here just by like his sheer strength. But I think him playing again behind Tyron Smith, who I know people think he's like very much like a stout pass blocker, which he is, but he's also good in the run game. This is like clips where I think Tyron Smith would talk to him and like say, hey, you get your pad level lower here, you'll have better balance. I found that Olu's like a bit off balance some of the time because of his pad level. But you don't mind that because that's like an easy fix in my opinion. When I was at the University at Buffalo, anytime like linemen had issues with their pad level, that was like more of like a mental thing. It's not a physical problem, obviously. So that's like a thing that I think could be fixed, and I'm definitely gonna follow as his season like progresses whenever he ends up playing. So yeah, that was the first clip I saw, and then I like this clip also. I really liked watching him against Ohio State because I saw a bunch of people saying that was like his worst film. He gave up like 6 pressures this game, but I didn't think it was so terrible. I thought if you watch here, it's a good initial jump here. I'm just going to show him again. He's the left tackle in all these clips, so number 74. And I thought it was a good initial jump from Olu. Stymies the outside rush from the edge. And then if you watch, he has really good first hand placement and punch that like throws him off. And then kind of Tyron Smith-esque, like if you go around the corner on Tyron Smith, you're usually on your ass. So just because like he's a little bit out of position, if he gets 2 hands on you, likely scenario is you're going to the ground. So you're not going to beat him towards the edge much. And to be honest, the Penn State offense was brutal to watch. I can't imagine like playing on that team as a lineman, but I was watching him mostly the whole time anyway, but like most of the plays were not completed. It's just a good rep here from him. It shows his good strength. I thought there's this good lateral movement, which I think people are a bit worried about at his size, but he shows good lateral movement. Again, you always worry about the get off here. Good hand placement, and then obviously takes that guy to the ground. I should have looked up who that guy was for Ohio State, but I didn't. I think they had a bunch of good pass rushers from last year, though.
Tremendous. Before you play the next clip, I got some breaking news involving the Asmaniacs. FPP, sound the alarms. 5, count it. 5 memberships have just been gifted to the following listeners. If you hear your name called, thank FPP, Salem Hoy, Sil, ISU, Zach, and Franco. Congratulations. You are all officially channel members. All right, Andrew, back to the Olu film. Here we go.
Cool. Okay, I wanted to put a rep in of Olu pulling. I think this is the most important rep I'm going to show probably because the way he translates to our offense, like everyone thinks, and we've speculated a bunch of times on the show. I think Robbie Sabo came on the show and said it. I'm not sure if Joe Blewett came on the show and said the same thing, but the moves we're making with Simpson and Morgan Moses, it seems like we're going to more of a gap scheme run. We're going to try and be more of a gap scheme run team. So what I mean by that is we're going to do more plays like counter. So there's 2 pullers, power, 1 puller. As in what we mostly ran last year was like zone running plays. So outside zone, inside zone, wide zone. Those are just zone plays where they're down blocking and then climbing to the second level. So this is like more of a gap scheme run here. This is a counter play. And this is Olu again. I just want to keep showing him. Again, I liked his pad level here. Like this is where he's bending his knees, meeting the guy head on, and creates an explosive play for the team. Again, he's going to be asked to pull a lot when he starts for us, I would assume, when we're running more of a gap scheme with Brees, which I think Brees will excel in because gap scheme, it's not really much thinking, hitting a gap and going. And Brees is, in my opinion, one of the most explosive runners, maybe the most explosive fast runner in the NFL. So a play like this, obviously the Jets will run counter. It's just counter. Is this GT counter? No, it's actually CT counter. So what I mean by that, it's the center and the tackle pulling. Normally it's guard and tackle. So everyone down blocks, down block, down block, down block, center pulls, gets the first guy that's filling a gap, and then Olu will get the second guy filling a gap. I'm sure they have different rules on that wherever you are. But yeah, good pad level, meets the guy head on. Like you're never going to have number 30 there is never going to really be able to make a play because he's really just supposed to be taking on the second puller. But creates a huge gap. And again, I was watching his pad level a lot because I thought his pad level was poor in some of the clips. But here he shows like good agility, good lateral movement again, good pad level, and they create an explosive.
So they say he's already like a pro pass protector, like a very good in pass protector tackle. Run blocking was like the thing that people was like, oh, well, he's got to get better there. But then I heard Joe Douglas say, we think he's actually underrated there. We think it's better than what people have said. What were your thoughts overall on his run blocking?
Yeah, I think it needs improvement. Again, I'm sure Joe and all the scouts have watched more film than I have. And again, I don't think they would knock him. I don't think they would come out and say that they think it needs improvement, especially since he's the 11th pick overall. Like that's probably not good for optics. But I think there's potential. Everything in Olu's game is very translatable to the NFL. And I mean that in the sense of like he has the body, he has the athleticism. It seems like there's a couple minor things that he needs to fix that are really easy fixes. Like his pad level is an easy fix, like I said. And I just think he needs to be a bit more nasty in the run game. Like I want him to take after Morgan Moses in that, take after John Simpson in that, take after Tyron Smith in that. Like he just needs to like want to put the guy on his ass more. And like it just seemed like maybe the injuries were hampering him a bit. That could have been a thing also, because it just seemed like he wasn't always 100%. And I know that there was a bunch of times during the seasons that he wasn't actually 100%. So maybe that's why it seemed like he was a bit slow. But I think that he has all the ability to be a good run blocker.
Oh, look what team the Penn State's playing here, the Fighting Allen Iowa Hawkeyes.
Oh my God. I mean, this game, I went through this game. Oof. Watching an Iowa game from last year. So Allen's an Iowa fan?
Yeah.
Oof. Brutal offense to watch for sure. But I mean, the Penn State versus Iowa. Like this is why when I got asked about JJ McCarthy, I just was honest. I didn't watch Big Ten football. Besides Ohio State, who really was unwatchable to me also last year. I just didn't watch Big Ten football. It's not really entertaining to me in the slightest. And Saturdays there's 400 games on, so I'd rather watch like a Big 12 showdown where there's touchdowns every other play. I know that some people that's not like pure football, but that's just me. But these games, I mean, I think it was like 7-0 in the fourth quarter I was watching, and I was like, how could this be like a real college football game? But that was basically every Iowa game, I feel like, from last year.
Hit the like button if you're tuned in right now and enjoying the film review with Andrew Fialkow. We're going to show a little Tyron Smith after this too to show you the similarities. But go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, right off that, my notes for this play was Tyron Smith-esque rep here. So again, Olu's here. Big thing about Olu, his anchor is phenomenal. So like his strength, once he latches onto you, if he gets good hand placement, you're going to be stymied. You're not going to go anywhere. So he gets his hands inside, boom. Love the anchor there. Like he's gonna again. Normally when I showed Tyron Smith, there was a big like Cowboys explosive play because of the good pass blocking. They're just throwing the ball away here, but really good rep from Olu. Good hand placement, gets his hands inside, and then the pass rusher basically is stuck in his tracks. And that's where Tyron Smith's ability to like latch onto you and either put you on your ass or just do what Olu did here, which was create a good pocket. That's where I saw some similarities in their game.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. I think this was the rep from Tyron Smith that was similar. Let's see what.
I remember this play. He just wrecks him.
Yeah, well, this is just Tyron Smith. Like it looks like he's just putting paws on him. Like one hand off balance, second hand he's already off balance, and then you have this entire pocket for Dak.
Yep.
To just step up in. I guess there wasn't a big play there, but that's where I saw some similarities in them. They both have really heavy hands in a good way. I think some analysts will talk about heavy hands in a bad way, but it's a good thing in the sense of these guys with their strength is just so much. One time getting your hand on them, you get them off balance. And then I think this rep was also something I felt was similar. Again, just latching on, and then you're not going anywhere. Not that the pass rusher really even tried to do much there. I don't know who that is. That might be that Barnes kid or something. But again, hands inside, then you're not going anywhere. That's really the similar one. And he's almost driving him downfield like it's a run play. I mean, I could gush about Tyron Smith a ton. We did a whole episode on him. He's just, whenever he's on the field, he's the best left tackle in the NFL. But that's where some similarities show up between them.
I like seeing this, man. It's exciting that Olu is not in a spot where he has to play right away. Like, he gets to sit back and learn. It's like the ideal scenario, because a lot of rookie tackles don't come in and they're not automatically great right away. Like, it does take a little time, and Olu's in the perfect situation now.
Yeah, totally agree. Another rep of Olu here, just showing his strength. Here he is. The edge tries a bull rush move and then tries to get around the edge. That's like very similar to some of the Tyron Smith film we watched. Again, just getting his hands on him, and then it just might not look like much, but Olu's strength is what is really, and his anchor is really what matters here. And it's enough to get him to the ground. Penn State gets a completion out of it. But again, not many pass rush moves work on him. When he has the lateral movement to stop you from going around the edge, you're really never going to bull rush him because he's 6'7", whatever. So yeah, those clips like that are what I see from Tyron Smith when I watch his film and then watch Olu's film as well.
Love it. Love it. Olu, baby. What a cool name too, by the way.
Yeah,
Olu Fashanu.
Such a nice name. Really, it rolls off the tongue. And then I guess after that, I was just going through his film, and there was a couple of clips that I didn't love. Just things that he could easily not have. Also, this is Olu here. It's a RPO, so run pass option. He just lunges forward too far and then completely misses the block. Again, doesn't have an effect on the play. But when we're running RPOs in this offense, you don't want to see this. So he oversteps, first of all, and then he's completely out of position. I guess, again, I'm not in the room, so it seems like they're slanting down, like it's going to be inside zone. So I guess his thought is, I'm going to pin him inside here. If he hands it off, that's fine because 78's out of the play. But you'd rather him latch on there and actually get a block. So yeah, some of the time I just felt like he lunged a bit, and his pad level again like gets him off balance. He's a big boy, so like him off balance is not a good recipe. But again, this is not like a glaring issue in my opinion. This is like one rep, and I kind of understand now that I'm watching it for like the 12th time what his thought process was. But yeah, just sometimes he's off balance and sometimes he lunges a bit. Again, easy things that will get cleaned up in my opinion, especially when he's watching Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses.
I love that. And Morgan Moses is so underrated too, which like we always talk about Tyron Smith, but like Morgan Moses is a dog, man. The guy's a warrior out there.
Yeah, 100%.
I love it. Was that the last clip? Or no, you got another one, right?
One more after this. This was quick, just a good combo block. Again, we're going to be asking him to do this a lot. This is just a duo run, so duo block. This is what I want from him. If we remember the clip I showed earlier of his pad level in the run game, it was bad. Here he gets low, drives him to the ground. Again, it's not a big gain, but that's exactly what you want out of a combo block from Olu. So again, just the pad level. It's just a consistency on that, because once he gets his pads low, he'll knock anyone to the ground in the run game. That's why I'm not really worried watching any of this.
I love it. So the fear of Keith Carter developing him does not concern you. You think Olu's just too talented?
I think Olu's talented enough, and I think that room is very talented. Like we'll talk about it more, but that room is as good as it's been as far as I can remember since the
2015 would be the last time.
2015 days, yeah. Like that room's so damn good that they'll elevate him as well. And then just as again, not like everything's usually positive in my film reviews that I show, but I just wanted to show this because like he was so good in the run in the pass game. Here I think he thinks a stunt's coming, and 51 actually like plays it well. So then Olu's just a bit off balance, and then he gets straight armed back into the quarterback. That's why when they said there were 0 sacks, I don't know if he got credited for a sack here, but that's the only really bad. And then he's looking at his hands he's like lunging again. These are just clips I would show to him and just ask him what he saw, what he felt, because rarely in the pass game does he ever get this off balance and pushed back like this. Because like I said, his anchor is great. He'll never get pushed back like this usually. So I think he was expecting a stunt to come, meaning like 51 would loop and then 44 would loop around him. That's where his helmet is, at least. So I don't even blame him again a ton for this. But yeah, it just gets off balance a bit. But yeah, I think overall there's a lot to like. That was the bottom line that I had from the film. Whether there be like some reps that I think he might want back, that's what every person would want as a player. Quarterbacks, receivers. So I just think there's a lot to like. And again, I'm happy that he's going to have some time to sit and just watch what I think is the best left tackle in football play, and then obviously a above average right tackle in Morgan Moses play.
Yep, perfect situation for him. And honestly, if you think back to last year, I think Tippmann benefited from not being thrusted out there right away. Remember, he was like number 3 on the depth chart like a couple weeks in the training camp. People were like, oh my God, did the Jets make a mistake taking him in the second round? He ended up having to play because of all the injuries, and he came and played guard, played well, and then moved to center and played well there. And now he's someone that you could look to as someone who could really take a significant leap in year 2. And I think he was set up to succeed by not having to be thrusted out there right away in a complex offense with Aaron Rodgers projected to be the quarterback. Like, I think it's good for Olu to sit back and learn from Tyron Smith and watch how he handles playing with a Hall of Fame QB.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think it's the same. It goes for Jordan Travis and the situation he's walking into. I think the running backs will that we drafted will learn a lot from Brees. I think Malachi's in a really good receiver room. It's the first time I felt like a lot of the young guys that are coming in are actually going into rooms where, like, when Garrett got drafted, he was really going to have to be like the number 1 right away, and he had a lot of pressure on him. Now there's guys that are there that are veterans in some sense that could really have a positive impact on all the young guys.
Well said. If you have a comment or a question for Andrew or myself to respond to, super chat it in. It will cut the line. We'll take some calls as well coming up here. Today's Jake Asman Show is presented by my friends at Huga House. Let's put some Huga House photos up on the screen. You see the hat I'm wearing? See the hat Aaron's wearing? That's a Huga House hat. You can get the same one using promo code Asman. You'll get a 15% off. Buy one hat, get the second hat 30% off. It's not just Aaron Rodgers who's rocking Huga House. Here's Tyler Conklin last season rocking Huga House. Also, let's not forget, Aaron's always rocking that black Huga House hat. I have the same one. I'm a big fan of the designs, the different shapes, the colors. And I don't know if any of you watched the Tom Brady roast, but they showed Shane Gillis a lot. He's one of my favorite comedians going right now. He's rocking the Huga House black cap as well. So check it out. If you want the same hat, a different one, they got new releases all the time. HugaHouse.com, promo code Asman. Get your vintage inspired cap 15% off. Buy one hat, get the second hat 30% off. We'll bring Andrew back on right now as we will open up the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. Once again, folks, Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. Go to gusbuster.com. Get the #1 umbrella in the universe. 15% off when you use promo code Jake at checkout. Doan Syndrome writes in, you need an intro for Alan like the Star Wars Imperial March music. The problem with that is that will get copyrighted instantly, but you are right. If anyone deserves that type of theme song, it would be, as Bobby Midnight would say, the cartoon character that is Alan. Hater writes in, one of the things Olu said on the Jets podcast that he's got to work on is pad level. Great athlete for the position. Can't wait to see what he develops into. Got all the tools. The one thing I do love about Olu too, Andrew, I don't know if you've seen any interviews he's done. He comes from a very classy family. You could tell he's a high character guy. I heard James Franklin talk about his smarts and how, he graduated with like a 3.7 GPA. He could have been a first round pick last year, but he went back to school. Like this guy's got all the intangibles that you look for in a guy you're going to invest a lot in with a top 11 pick.
Yeah, actually, Hater or whatever, if you could send a link in, I'd love to watch it. I didn't watch. I'm so happy that he said the pad level thing. Honestly, that was like, again, I would say I'm very good at breaking down like quarterback and wide receiver film. I'm not completely well versed in O-line, so that was just my opinion from watching. But I'm again, the fact that he's aware of that is awesome. So I think that's a great thing that he said that.
FPP writes in, Jake, you guys need to take Andrew out Friday for a steak dinner. Andrew has been invited to the dinner on Friday. Yeah. Don't worry.
I was invited.
He's going to let me know if he can make it. All right. Yes, don't worry. All right. Pittsburgh Mike writes in, I seriously can't wait to see our uniforms on the field this season. Those white face masks are fresh. It's going to be nice if the Jets look sexy. How about that?
Can't wait. It's yeah. It's so much better. I think Garrett looked so good in them when they had them on. It's just so much better. Actually, now that you're putting this up, Michael Nania put out an article that was interesting on Jets X about he looked at this and he said, I can only see one team that has a better roster than us. And like it's an interesting article if anyone wants to look at it. He looked at that exact clip. Oh yeah, yeah. I think the white on green, by the way, is awesome. And then the all whites is great. I think the white on white's probably my favorite. I've always loved the white on whites. And then do we not have a white helmet going, or do we?
They do not have a white helmet currently.
Okay.
I think that's next year they introduce that.
Yeah, a little speed flex white helmet would look phenomenal. But the jersey, the rebrand's great.
Yeah, cannot wait. And so yesterday the NFL made it official. Next Wednesday, May 15th, will be the schedule release, Andrew. Yeah. What's your preference for the Jets week 1 opponent? Who do you want?
I have a little insider source on that. So I could give some I rarely have insider sources on things, but I can't even I hope he's not watching right now because he would get mad at me. But my buddy who might know, I gotta go find this quickly. He said Jets Niners week 1.
No.
Monday or Sunday. Now everything could change, but that's the word. That's the word.
I hate that. Why are we opening on the road against the hardest opponent in the league?
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. I said I didn't think that was. I hope he doesn't text me right now and say like, "Hey, I'm watching this." But that's what I said to him. Let me see the exact conversation. I said, "Why would it be away?" And he said, "I don't know." And then I said, "Any word on our home opener?" He said, "No." I don't know. I thought we were like locked. I was like thinking they would definitely run back Monday night at MetLife. I thought that's kind of a no-brainer, but I don't know.
To me, it is a complete no-brainer. I would be surprised if the Jets don't open up at home. I still stand by it, no matter what your buddy says.
Yeah, I do. I feel the same. I feel like any like prime Sunday night or Monday night at home would make the most sense. I think he said because like Rodgers is a Cali boy, like there's some ties there. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it's a good matchup. You have Salah against his old team. I get it. Like one of the better teams in the AFC in theory against the NFC champions. I get it. Yeah. I don't want to go to San Fran week 1. That's a really tough. Look, if they win that game, we'll be on cloud 9, but that's a tough game. Right. Rodgers' first game, I'd prefer to be at home after what happened last year. I want redemption for that, you know?
Completely agree. If we do win that game, though, a week 1 win in San Fran, I can only imagine what week 2 at home would be like. But yeah, I think we're gonna have like 5 or 6 primetime games, which you would assume. And the schedule is not that easy. So I don't love that we're playing the NFC West. I think that's probably the hardest division in the NFC to play, minus the North. But like I think every team in the NFC West is going to be good this year. So that's kind of frustrating. Again, I think in the division, we should have a lot of success. I know that's unheard of for us, but we look at the team. I don't see why we wouldn't go at least 4-2 in the division. So
if you want to win the division 4-2, I think is the minimum record they're going to need to do it.
Yeah, completely agree.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We'll take some calls right now. First up is Snowball on the Gusbuster hotline today. Hello, Snowball.
Hey, Jake. How are you? Andrew, love your analysis. Very accurate and good takes all the time. I've been team O-line the whole time. And I really am glad that we picked at 11 and got Olu. I even think it's a hot take, but I think he's better than Alt. I really do. I really like the way he operates better. He's like just like the Brickishaw Ferguson in my mind. That's about it. That's all I have to say. Can't wait for tomorrow. See you later.
Who do you got in the shoe sell-off? Who you got, Snowball?
I can't take sides. It's 2 guys I love. I can't I can't take it. If I have to give the advantage to Bonesy because it's his living. It's what he's made of.
All right, that's fair. I wanted a hot take from Snowball there. He just rode the fence. Oh, I love both guys. I want some trash talk, man. I want a little Mr. Bonesy's neighborhood.
It's time for Mr. Bonesy's neighborhood.
Hey, boys and girls. My name is Mr. Bonesy. Can you say Bonesy? I'm a famous shoe salesman. I sell fancy shoes called Alden. Shoes your mommy and daddy couldn't afford unless they used college money that they socked away since that pregnancy test turned red. Got some exciting news for you, boys and girls. This Friday, Mr. Bonesy's gonna take one of these Alden shoes here and beat my good friend Neil over the head with it until he slips into a never-ending coma. That's what happens, boys and girls, when drunk Jet fans put a little wager on shoe sales, and the old guy who smells like a 90-day-year-old ashtray tries to embarrass me in my own store. So tune in Friday, boys and girls. This should be a fun one. Suck it, Neil.
Man,
It's all on the line, baby. It's all on the line.
Gator is unreal. That's so damn good.
That definitely should be the takeaway from that as well. You're right about that. More calls right now. Here we go. Up next on our Gustbuster hotline is Jake Klein. Hello, Jake.
Hey guys, how you doing? Good afternoon. Hey, Andrew, actually, real question. I know I've seen you on the shows before. You said you go to Fordham Law. Is that correct?
No, I don't go to Fordham Law. I'm in grad school at Fordham, though.
The Columbus Circle campus or the okay. I thought I heard you said you went to law because I know somebody who teaches there, so I didn't know if that you were aware of that. Anyway,
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, for the schedule, my brother just texted me about a few hours ago. He has some insight. He's from a guy that is like a quiet Jets beat writer kind of thing, and they're saying possibly week 1 will be home against the Texans Sunday night. That's like one report that's quietly coming out right now, which is believable. But I honestly know everyone hates the idea, but I actually don't mind if they're on the road against San Fran and Arizona the first 2 weeks. I'd rather get the West Coast trip out of the way early. And you have to understand that the week 1 game, the NFL wants to see Rodgers come back against Saleh, against San Francisco. He's from Chico, California. I just think there's a lot of storyline. And then it could be the potential first, it could be the Super Bowl game. I mean, obviously, pending it goes well.
No, it's a good game, Jake. I get why it'd be in primetime. My point is, I think the better storyline is the Jets open at home and Rodgers returns in front of the crowd, and it's crazy like it was last year, and he gets redemption for what happened.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's as much as you want to hear that, the fact is the NFL wants ratings and they want to see them play against 2 of the best teams.
Right, dude, Jets Texans or Jets any team at home is going to get monstrous ratings. Jets would be great. Any game they put, it's first off, it's football, it's opening weekend, and it's Aaron Rodgers. So any game they put him in is going to get ratings. But if you want like the best storyline, the best environment, it's the Jets week 1 at home in primetime.
I'm just saying based on the fact of going to the West Coast is a process for any team regardless. So I think at that point, if you're already on the West Coast, you might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Stay out there, get the 2 road games out of the way on the West Coast. You don't have to deal with it mid-season. You don't want to do that later in the year. That's just my perspective. It's setting up based on getting the San Francisco 49ers the first week. You might as well play the Cardinals while you're out there because all the other games are basically going to be on the East Coast or maybe was it Cleveland? I forgot whoever But yeah, that's my take. I could be completely wrong. I mean, the Texans one seems ideal. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think that going from the East Coast to the West Coast does affect a lot of teams, and I would just do that at this point, truthfully.
Well, here's the thing though. Like, I don't know if they would put the Jets on the road the first 2 games of the year. Like they play the Niners week 1. Let's say it's they play the night. It wouldn't be Thursday because the Chiefs open up. Let's say it's Sunday Night Football against the Niners. You could then then the following week they'd play the Cardinals Sunday 4:00 Eastern. Like I don't know. They would have 2 straight road games to open the year. I'd be surprised. I think the Jets are going to open at home, and if they're not at home week 1, I'd be shocked if the home opener was on week 2.
Yeah. I can't even think of a time where a team had to stay on the road the first 2 weeks of the year. I think that would be a lot.
That's not good for the Jets.
No, I wouldn't like that.
Sonny with a super chat. Thank you, Sonny. Added to the Chipotle fund, Jake. Great coverage. Addison, thanks for the membership. I have Bonesy for the sell-off, but it will be closed. Don't sleep on Neil. Could pull off a win. Let's go, Jets. Who do you like in the shoe sell-off tomorrow, Andrew? I haven't asked you for your take.
Love Bonesy. I just want to go with the underdog. I'm just going to take. I want to take Neil. I think there's value there. I think if there was a betting line, he'd be like plus. I don't know. He's no experience, so maybe plus 300. I would just take him. Maybe they're like a new face. I'd take a shot at him.
I like it. That's a good take there. You bet on the underdog.
Yeah.
Jay Klein, who just called in, goes, Giants did it last year, week 2 and week 3, San Fran, Arizona. They did, but it wasn't week 1. I think because the Jets are going to have significant primetime windows, I don't think they would put them week 1, week 2 on the road. I could be dead wrong. I don't think anyone truly knows anything at this point.
Yeah, we just got to wait and see. But
story, guys, sorry.
I doubt that they would do week 1, week 2, like you said.
Imagine they start 2-0 though on the road and they come back home from the home opener with a chance to get 3-0.
Yeah, see that I would sign. I could sign up for that.
When was the last time the Jets were 3-0 to start a season? Was it 2009 when they beat the Titans to get to 3-0 with Sanchez as a rookie?
That's a good question. Well, I'm looking up. 2009, they were 3-0 to start the year.
Yeah, with Rex.
Right. I would assume so. I don't think I'm trying to think 2015. How we started that year. We were 2-0 and then we lost to Philly at home. I was at that game actually. That was like the Brandon Marshall lateral game.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And then they went to London and destroyed the Dolphins. It was great.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I think that might have been the last time.
That's the last time the Jets were 3-0. It's crazy. I remember they lost to the Saints that year. That was their first loss in 2009. And I remember I was following the game from my phone because I was so stressed watching it because I was on my way to Madison Square Garden for a concert that featured Asher Roth, Fall Out Boy, and Blink 182.
Oh my gosh.
It was wild. But I didn't care about any of that because I was concerned about the Jets.
Right. Damn. Asher Roth is a crazy pull. That's
I only know one song by Asher Roth.
Same here.
And I love college.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yep.
Story Lynn writes in, what did you think of the Brady roast? I talked about it earlier in the week, Story Lynn. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I mean, Nikki Glazer, incredible. Jeffrey Ross, incredible. Tony Hitchcliffe, incredible. Kevin Hart, incredible. I mean, there were just some killers in that room. And then I thought Edelman was funny. Belichick even gave me some laughs.
Yeah.
Gronk was a good sport, had some funny liners. Brady was pretty good. I thought it was great, man. I loved it. Hopefully it leads to more roasts making a comeback because that was phenomenal. Nothing was off limits for the most part. It was great.
Yeah. I saw people complaining about it. I'm like, well, people will find anything to complain about on Twitter, but I'm like, well, I don't know what they expected. I think that was as ruthless as it could have been, which I loved. Like, that's what a roast should be. But people were very unhappy about some of it. I'm like, all right, then don't watch it then.
100%. Andrew, are you ready for our?
Gary?
No, not Gary. Are you ready? I keep wanting to say international, but it's not international. We're just going to a U.S. territory. Are you ready for some V-Man?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
It's time for another V-Man call. Hopefully he no sleeping. Adios mio.
Whoa.
Wow. Look at that outfit.
Hi. Yeah. Hi, Jake. What's up?
You tell me, V-Man.
I can't hear you.
Is that a dog going off behind you?
I can't hear you. I'm gonna close out and go back in. Okay.
Okay.
That's the end of that V-Man call. Now he can go back to sleeping.
Great stuff there.
What a call. I mean, that was electric. At first I was like, Andrew, do you have a dog? And then I'm like, nope, it's got to be V-Man.
Yeah. No dogs running around in here.
V-Man wearing that hat. I mean, it's just He's living the dream. All right, V-Man's back.
It's time for another V-Man call. Hopefully he no sleeping. Adios mio.
V-Man?
Is that better?
Yes.
Sorry. No. So yeah, I finished up at Hacienda Santa Ana in Bayamon, and I snagged some really nice shit while I was up over there. They have these. Neil would be jealous of these. Hold on, I think the signal here is a bit better. So is it? And Neil would be jealous. These are so what they do is these are Nicaraguans that they age that they soak these in their 2-star rum.
V-Man, what's up with the dog behind you?
And then hold on, I'm gonna try to. I don't know. It's someone's dog. This is just your typical Puerto Rican neighborhood. This is my cousin Tati and Senny's place. I'm not gonna bother them. I'm gonna allow them to keep their privacy. My mother's having a good conversation with them. But this is my prize that I got from Ronda Barlito, which I'll send you the video. I'll send Gator the video later of this. So this baby, I hand bottled myself, aged 20 years.
Man, this dog is ridiculous. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I can't control the dog. I can't control the dog. I'm sorry about that. Here, let me try to move a little further away from him. Is that better?
Fine, yes.
Yeah, I'll just move a little further away. Is that better? I'm trying to move as far away as possible.
V-Man, call back tomorrow. It's all good.
All right, I'll talk to you another time. All right. Peace.
Thank you, V-Man.
That's the end of that V-Man call. Now he can go back to sleeping.
You can't make it up, man.
Oh, that was great.
He's like trying to give us the whole tour there, and the dog he's just overpowering him. Dark Knight Steve super chats. V-Man looking like Juan Valdez. Get me some coffee. V-Man, I hope you have the most wonderful trip ever. What do we do from there? Man. Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. Earlier in the show, Bobby was fighting with Alan in the comment section. He wrote, "Alan, why are you so negative, you human cartoon?" And then Bobby wrote, "Alan, you are a grumpy old negative cartoon." So I think it's only fitting that we now bring on this guy.
Well, you know I love to talk and hate to type. Jake, when is your next show? Alan is a cartoon character. Bobby.
Bobby Bernard.
How you doing, my pal? You are awesome. Are you out of college now?
I'm in grad school, yeah. But yeah, I just finished.
No, because you're it's in May. You should be out of school, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Jake, thank you very much for having me on again.
Bobby, it's always a pleasure.
I got a song for the New York Jets, okay? You want to hear it?
Give it to us.
Yeah, okay, I'll sing it. The Jets are too sexy for their helmets, too sexy for their helmets, too sexy for their helmets. Okay, how's that? Good? How's that?
Say it one more time, and Andrew, mute your mic so you don't laugh. We got to give Gator a clean take of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Jets are too sexy for their helmets. Too sexy for their helmets. Jets are too sexy for their helmets. How's that? Good?
That was great, Bobby. Thank you.
Yeah, when you mentioned that they're too sexy for their helmets, I said I should sing that for Jake. Yeah. Hey, Jake, you said that comedian you know, right? Where do you know him from?
Which comedian?
The one that you brought up. You said you knew.
I don't know. I don't know which comedian I brought up. I don't remember.
Like 5 minutes ago, I forgot his name. He said, "Oh, I like that guy."
Oh, Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis.
Yeah, where do you know him from?
Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of just his stand-up act.
Oh, okay. Do you ever go see him in live?
Yeah, I saw him actually the weekend of the Super Bowl. He came out as a surprise guest with Burt Kreischer and Tom Segura. It was awesome.
Okay, my friend Chris Finnegan is a comedian. You ever hear of him?
I have not, no.
He does it on Long Island. So Yeah, I think that was a good film, Andrew, about that new guy we have just have.
Bobby, are you a Jet fan or a Giant fan?
Well, I'm a Giant fan, but I do cheer for the Jets. And then I don't know. I think the Jets are gonna have a much better year than the Giants. The Giants are not too good. As soon as they got rid of Buckley, I'm very vetoed, and then all that. So, and guess what? Jake's getting me soon.
A Jets hat, I think.
I'm getting Bobby a Jet hat. That's right.
Isn't that nice of him? I didn't even ask for it. He already got me this Yankee hat. Then him and his dad gave me an umbrella. Now I'm getting a Jet hat. Wow. I don't even ask for these things.
You're number one. You're the number one caller to me, Bobby.
You live in New York? You live in the Bronx?
I live in the city. I'm in New York City.
Oh, you're in Manhattan like Andrew, like Jake. You're not that far from each other, but
no.
And then go New York. Go New York. The Knicks.
Yeah, let's go Knicks. Hey, Bobby, you want to read a super chat?
Yes, I may.
All right, here we go.
Okay, Chef Kevin Gilbert. I like that guy. He was at Bonesy's the other time. Bobby, you're amazing. Never change, bro. Thank you, Chef. Well, do you ever meet Chef Ramsay before? I wonder if you ever met Chef
you mean Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay. He's awesome. I want to meet him. Hey, guess what? I almost had a chance to be on Master Chef twice. But I had car problems one time. I was sick the other time. They asked me to come to New York City for auditions.
Are you a good chef?
Gordon Ramsay, Joe, when he was in there, and somebody else. So yeah, Andrew, you're awesome. I like you very much.
What's your signature dish?
Oh, I like chicken parmesan.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Well, when I come visit you, Jake, I make you some chicken parmesan.
I can't wait, Bobby. That sounds good.
Come to your apartment and make you some.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Midnight.
Well, you know, I love the Yankees and the Jets, and to read the super chats are more than just a hat. Bobby.
Man.
Wow. That was a call. That was an all-time Bobby call.
The gift that keeps on giving. He's really unreal.
King of Dreams writes in, my G Jake, what's good, Andrew? V-Man with the fire hat, my guy Bobby. Love it. V-Man did have a fire hat.
Yeah.
How about this generosity here from Dark Knight Steve? Appreciate you, Steve, as always, my friend. Can't get enough of Bobby. We need more Bobby prank calls and other shows. Super chat in honor of Bobby. You are the best. I'll tell you what, Bobby, you want to prank call any other talk show about anything, you let us know. We'll play it if it's funny. Luppy writes in, Bobby, let me know if you ever need any backup taking care of Alan. Oh, yeah, baby. I'll tell you what. If Bobby ever needed an army to take down Alan, he would have one very quickly.
Yeah. He's got to be number one caller on the show, like liked wise.
I think Bobby's probably the most beloved caller we have.
Yeah.
He's got a heart of gold.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Let's go to Rob, the Jet fan. He'd be in the Bobby army against Alan, that's for sure. What's up, Rob?
Hell yeah.
Rob.
Care of Alan. We take care of Alan. I wanted to call. Hey, how you doing? First of all, Andrew, how you doing, buddy?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
You too, bro. I want to meet you in person one day. That would be cool.
We're going to fight Alan, Rob. Here we go.
Jake, you could kick Alan's ass. My money would be on you, 8-5.
I appreciate it. I'll start training right now.
Start training. But as far as the fight, man, we got Bonesy and we got Neil. It's tough for me because here I have my Goomba. I have Neil. Well, you know, he's my Goomba, but Bonesy is also a Paisan. So it puts me in an awkward position. I might have to referee it, Jake. I might have to be the referee.
You're going to officiate? I thought Joe Bonesy. My understanding is we might. Well, look, we need probably more than one official, but Joe Bonesy is going to be an integral part of the officiating of the contest tomorrow.
His brother?
His brother, yep.
His brother. Yeah, but I'm going to be there for a guest referee also.
We need you there. Absolutely.
They might get out of hand, you know. And then if we need backup, then we'll just get the big fellow in there too.
Love that. Love that.
Big fellow measuring in at 6'4", 285. He's a big dude.
Big boy.
I can't wait to meet him tomorrow too. But
Yeah.
we're driving in early, me and Neil. I'm coming in together with Neil. So pumped up about tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. And we just got to make sure it's a clean fight tomorrow. Like, you know, no nothing under the belt or anything. So we got to keep an eye, Jake, you know, because, you know, these are two guys. Normally they really get along, you know, no underhanded crap going on and stuff. Keep it clean, the fight.
Rob, I'm right there with you, man. I'll see you tomorrow. I can't wait. It's gonna be a battle, man. It's gonna be a clean competition.
So are they going to are they both gonna be at the shoe store for like a certain amount of time?
Yeah, we're gonna have a 2-hour window of being able to sell shoes, and based on how busy it is, they got to rotate customers. So it's not like, oh, they just like chase down the customer. Each person's gonna get a fair shot at selling the shoe.
Okay, sweet. That's fun.
It's gonna be a war, Andrew.
Is that gonna be put out on Patreon or?
Yeah, it will be on Patreon. I'll be posting updates in the Discord in real time, behind the scenes footage. So make sure you get on my Patreon. Also, shout out to listener Reese, who signed up for the Patreon recently. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's go to NY Jets Florida before we start to wrap things up here. Last chance to get in. Send in your super chats if you want it read. NY Jets Florida, what do you got for us?
What's up, fellas? Poolside today, 93 degrees.
What is that on your head?
It's a hat backwards.
Oh,
I was just cutting the grass. Hey, Andrew.
Yo.
Oh, am I on? You're both off. Hey, Andrew. You didn't think you'd be coming on talking about football today, did you?
What do you mean? Oh, no.
And call and everything.
I should have studied up on the Bonesy Neil battle.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. The V-Man call was pretty good too. I know. Let me ask you a question. You kind of gonna bring up a sore subject. You like Bowers a little, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I did too. Do you think the fact that you consider Olu a little raw and kind of a developmental player, do you think that gives you like any thought that maybe Bowers should have been given more of a shot, I guess? I mean, if you consider him a raw prospect.
I don't know. I still think that position-wise, we made the right decision. I just didn't want to go into the year without any like contingency plans at tackle.
And well, I'm gonna let you go because your audio was like making like a sharp, like weird noise. But go ahead, Andrew, finish your point.
Yeah, I don't think the film really changed my opinion on the pick. I was still team receiver. I really wanted to trade up for Rome, as most of you knew, and then I think the next best bet was getting our guy at the O-line. And we did that with trading back. I don't think – I know it's early. I don't think we're going to look back and think this was like we should have taken Bowers. I just don't see that being how it goes. Like the Raiders need Bowers to be like – and we would have the same – need him to be like an extreme producer year one. Like we're in a time where like this window is very, very important. And I think having Olu as this backup that's more than capable of coming in and being, in my opinion, more serviceable than a guy like Carter Warren or Max Mitchell. I think that's kind of what it came down to for me.
I just can't believe we're still getting questions about Bowers. Olu's not really a developmental guy anyway. He just has the luxury to not have to play right away. Like he would start for most NFL teams, but the Jets have a very unique situation where both their starting tackles in an all-in year happen to be on 1-year deals. So it's like he raises your floor in year one, provides insurance in case something happens to Tyron Smith, which chances are, given his history, he's not playing every game. And then next year he hits the ground running with a full year of experience, learning from a Hall of Famer to be your long-term answer. Like, I think we know why they did what they did.
Yeah. Agreed.
Power boy.
I didn't think we were going to hear that one ever again.
Power boy.
Unless that means Gary's calling in. But
is Gary calling in?
Did somebody say
Hey.
Brock Bowers?
He has not called in. I think Gary is heeding the advice. Just chilling out a little bit.
Yeah. I see him in the chat. He's talking.
Gator says, I'd call in, but I'm chasing my neighbor's dog around the neighborhood with a fork. I love it. Gary writes in, I can't understand why Atlanta wouldn't trade down to 10 when no one else was looking at Penix as a top 10 pick. I think Atlanta was not going to risk the fact that someone would then make a trade with Chicago at 9. Maybe Minnesota makes the deal from 11 to 9 instead of 11 to 10, and they had Penix ranked higher than McCarthy. They weren't going to risk it. Or Denver moves up, and they instead of taking Knicks, they go up and get Penix. Like, that's the risk. They didn't want to take the chance. That's why Atlanta at 8, making the pick they did with Penix, basically prevented the Jets from getting Rome if that was the guy they were targeting, which I think we have reason to believe that was their first choice, and then Olu was choice number 2 for them.
Yeah, I agree. He wrote something. I think he responded to already.
Mother effing Chew wants to know, why aren't the Raiders favorites to win the Super Bowl now?
That's a good roster. I don't know who's. Minshew's going to play quarterback for them. I can't believe the Raiders didn't take a quarterback in the draft. They'll be mid. They actually had a good draft. They drafted Jackson Powers Johnson, who the Jets were kind of rumored. No, he's playing guard actually. But yeah, I guess the Raiders are not going to be favorites to win the Super Bowl anytime soon, in my opinion.
Dre checks in with a super chat. Thank you, Dre. I love that V-Man call. I'm on the Amtrak. Connection spotty or else I'd call in. I'll see everyone tomorrow at the Bonesy versus Neil. Yeah, that's right. We might have to send Andrew some film of Neil and Bonesy selling shoes, and we'll have Andrew break that down for us.
I saw someone in the comment section said that.
All right, one last call with Andrew and I here. Luppy, what do you got for us, Luppy? Wrap us up.
Hey, guys, how you doing? Listen,
Yep.
Jay, your shows have been crazy. This off season has been crazy. Every single show, I'm laughing my ass off. The calls get better and better, and bring it on. It's fun. Listen, the key to this season is Aaron Rodgers, and the best pick they did was take Fashanu. Olu was the man to pick there. We need to put him in bubble wrap so we can get through the season. They were smart in building their offensive line, and they were smart in picking him. And then they went up and they got the receiver that I think is the toughest receiver that shows exactly who we're going to be this year. Going after getting 2 running backs to smash mouth, we are getting an identity. Our coaching staff is going to build up like they've done every year, just like Joe D is building up every year, learning from his mistakes. And our entire complex has been moving up and building up and learning. That's why you don't blow it up every year. You need to learn from this. The second they don't do it, the second the glaring things are there and they don't do anything about it. I know JD didn't do anything about the quarterback, but they are learning every year. That's why I believe in this regime. And I know the key is Aaron Rodgers. And if he's on the field, Jake, just think about that. Think about watching him play for us. Think about it. How are you not psyched? But our defense, how are you not
I'm psyched. Mumpy, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I believe in this team. I'm right there with you.
It's great. The roster's great. I can't wait for to see them on the field. Aaron Rodgers running out there, and we're going to be screaming our asses off. Let's go Jets.
Lumpy, I love it. No, I'm definitely excited. I don't know if anything will top like last year, but like, you know, I had this talk with someone today that I worked with at Sirius who's a Jet fan. Like I said the line I say on the show. Take Jets away from the helmets and just look at the talent in the roster. Like, it is a really good football team. Do they have, some concerns with some guys injury-wise? Sure, but like every team could say the same thing. Like, if they're healthy, like, yes, it's more important for the Jets because of what happened last year with Aaron, but like, it's not like this guy has a history of injuries. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers, whatever he has left, chances are he's still going to be an above-average quarterback, all things considered. And I don't think they really need much more than that with this roster to be at least a 10 or 11 win team and this playoff drought and have a legitimate chance to go on a run. And that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, you said it best. Like, all we want is a chance. We just want a seat at the table when it comes down to it. And I said it on a show like 2 weeks ago. The only two things that can derail our season are injuries and Nate Hackett. That's literally the only two things. And like you said to me when I said Nate Hackett, I think you pushed back and said it's Rodgers' offense, and I completely agree. It's really just injuries. Like, that's really the bottom line. If we're a healthy team on paper, I don't see how we don't win minimum 10 to 11 games. I can't see it. I don't think Rodgers is going to take a step back. Like, I don't think he's going to be MVP Rodgers, but like he always says on every interview I see, they're like, how's the arm? He's like, the arm's never leaving. The arm and the brain, they're never going to leave. So his cerebral, his arm, that's why everyone wanted us to take an O lineman, because what could you see derailing the season? October, we could be tweeting, damn, like Tyrod's going to have to play 4 to 5 weeks now. That's the only thing I could see, like really derailing the season. We have depth at the O-line. We have a little depth at receiver. Hopefully we maybe sign a veteran there and maybe still sign a veteran on the O-line as well. Just injuries. That's literally it. And I feel like that's all you could ask for at this point. That's why I'm happy with the Douglas for right now. And like the team that he's put together, it's built to win right now.
K&D writes in, I'll call in tomorrow and drop heavy bags. Uh-oh. K&D, you call in tomorrow and drop some heavy bags. I'm buying rounds for the Asmaniacs at our dinner tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Andrew, this was a ton of fun. Before we wrap, super chat here from Addison. He gifted 5 memberships earlier, so thanks again, Addison. Truly appreciate that. Worked at Ray Romano's house last week in Malibu. He wasn't there. His wife was. She's a Bronco fan. Nobody's having more fun with that trade than him. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I did see that the Broncos cut Ben DiNucci, so they got 3 quarterbacks on their team. Bo Nix, who they drafted. What's his name, who was there last year? Jared Stidham. Yeah. And Zach Wilson. So Zach Wilson versus Jared Stidham for the backup spot, because let's be real, Bo Nix is playing sooner rather than later.
Definitely. I guess they'll probably just use that like emergency quarterback rule, and I think Zach will just be on the roster for the whole year. Again, like you said, whether he's a backup or like the emergency guy that dresses, I don't know. I would hope. I still think that Zach could beat out Jarrett Stidham. I think he can, but God knows what's going to go on in Denver.
You want to laugh? Bo Nix is just 7
I was
months
going to say,
younger.
I could have sworn he was older. So I'm not, that I'm not surprised, honestly. They're both 24. Okay. Or Zach's still 23.
No. So Zach's 24, August 3rd, 99. Bo Nix is 24, February 25th, 2000. So it's like 7 to 8 months.
Crazy.
Attaboy, Luppy. Before we wrap up, another 5 memberships. Man, I got some emojis to decide on. I got to update some emojis for the people, baby. How about a jet chant? Because Luppy brought the energy. If you hear your name called, thank the Lup Man. Cactus Johnny, Johnny Boy. How about that? Cactus Johnny and Johnny Boy both got memberships. Rich B, Molin Labe, and Nate. Congratulations, courtesy of our guy Luppy. You are all now Asmaniac members. Andrew, appreciate your time, man. You mentioned that you did a breakdown over at Jets X Factor on Olu, so I recommend my audience checks that out when they're done watching this video right here. You and I are going to get together and come up with some new ideas, but one of the ideas we have come up with is breaking down some Rodgers 2022 film, just to remind people what's coming for the Jets. And also, can Allen Lazard be fixed with Rodgers back? Can he be revitalized into just being competent with Rodgers back? So we're going to do that pretty soon.
Right. Yeah, I saw you tweeted out to everyone, and anyone that's watching right now, my DMs are open for ideas. Me and Jake were talking before the show about some things we could do, because now we're in that period, like that May, June, July, like before OTAs and before training camp, we could really dive into anything. I'm planning on doing like some self projects of like some players from last year to review them. That would be, we could go over Garrett. I saw a couple of people also that were like interested in like learning more about our scheme offensively and defensively. We could definitely do a show breaking that down. So yeah, we have a lot of things we could go over for sure.
Can't wait. Andrew, great job as always, man. Appreciate you hanging out with us every single Thursday.
Thank you, Jake. I'll be in touch.
He's Andrew Fialkow. My name is Jake Asman. Jet fans, before you get out of here, make sure you hit that like button. It is free, and it helps the channel immensely continue to grow. Appreciate everyone for their support. And since Gary did not call in during this show, why don't we give everyone a little Gary before we get out of here? I'll talk to you guys soon. Let's go Knicks, and I will see everyone tomorrow. Plus, if you're coming to the Shoe Salesman Championship of the World at Alden's, 4 p.m. tomorrow, it's going down. I'll talk to you guys soon. Go Jets.
Whoa. You don't need a quarterback. You need a good football player. That's what I'm saying about Brock Bowers. You need a good football player.
Gary has called back in. He's relentless tonight, man. Gary, what do you got?
What's going on, Jake? I'm a little fired up today. Let me ask you something. If you could get 30 touchdowns out of Jameis Winston and 30 interceptions, I'm going to tell you something about him. Caleb Williams is going to help him in the third round. And if he gets knocked down in round 7, I mean, his fight's going to go to the scorecard. It's probably fixed anyway. I mean, I disagree with you like 100%. What you did, miscalculating about not taking Joe Milton over Zach, a draft prospect. I mean, knockouts don't matter if you land enough jabs and you would have split decision. You don't need a quarterback for a 12-round fight. I mean, you get the tight end. You get the tight end. Joe Milton. Knockouts don't get the tight end because Bowers, he's not going to hold the ball as long as Caleb Williams. He'll just allow it to himself and catch it and score down the ring, and then it's a knockout fight. Wait, hold on, Jake. I think I owe you an apology. I just realized I called into your Jets show. Thought I was doing the boxing thing and I freaking crossed all my thoughts. Anyway, we should take Joe Milton and take Tyson over Jake Paul in round 3 of the draft. Thanks, Jake. Gator is a douchebag.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gator. Well done. Well done. Well done. Give Gator some love in the chat. That was well needed after Gary's call on the second show today. Good God. Bravo. Gary up next. Hello, Gary.
That skit that Gator did yesterday, I showed it to my wife. She thought it was the funniest thing she's ever seen. That was gold. I don't know how he does this, but he's got some type of talent. I hope he's using it for good. That guy is incredible.
You know you made it when you get impersonated by Gator.
Yeah, I'll take you as a compliment. I'll take you all as a compliment.